Hey now, welcome back to Lone Star Mini Restoration. Today is just continuing my journey in salvaging parts. Okay, as you can see behind me here, I have all new black heritage floor. Boot floor, heel board, main floor, the toe board's over there. That's going to be a little bit later. But I'm stumped a little bit. So what I've done is I've refocused my direction to something, maybe to confidence builder, right? And I'll show some footage of me just working in the shop. And today is not a good day for me to be working in the shop, so I'm backing off a little bit. But so there's the stiffener. It came out pretty nice. This was the plate, no holes. This came out nice too. This was that little bracket on the bottom of the bench. So I don't know that I need it, but it was only welded, spot welded on this flat surface, 4 places. These places look like maybe they bent over to hold cables or something at one time. I went ahead and salvaged it. Of course, I have got to clean them all up better, but I salvaged it, so that's that one. This guy that I salvaged was the vertical support that runs from the tunnel up to the bench. Salvaged that bad boy. And I also salvaged the old battery box. I kind of cleaned it up where I thought it was the worst condition, just to see if I should continue, and it cleaned up fairly well. So I'll keep this. When I have downtime or whatever, I'll clean it up. Who knows? I might use it somewhere somehow. So I've been cleaning. The other thing that I've been doing too is now that I believe I'm done with the boot, I've started cutting up this and cleaning the boot existing floor, because now that it's scrap, I'm going to use this for spot weld practice material. I am going to spot weld a little bit today. I don't know that I'll include that on my video, but that's my next goal, is to work on my spot welding, because I'm dangerously close to. I think I'm going to take Dan Harding's advice. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to remove the boot. The boot's been on and off half a dozen times. I'm going to remove it again, and I am going to weld the heel board onto the floorboard. I think Dan's right. I think you really can't go wrong because of the curvatures and everything. It is what it is. And so I am going to weld that together. That's going to be the very first item that I weld. Right now I'm trying to figure out sealants. Before I put a weld on this car, I want to know that I'm sealing it the best I can. Yes, I have my first can of self-etching weld-through primer. I've got that ready, but primer's porous. This does not protect your car. Just because you put it on there, the instant you weld, you have rust. So I'm trying to figure that out. I've asked a good friend for his suggestions, a guy that I really respect, Mr. Pete Raymond, because I think he did an outstanding job on his Mini. Let me bring the camera in, and I'm going to show you one thing that I failed to do, but maybe this will help somebody down the road if they're replacing their floorboard. I'll pull the camera in. Okay, if you can see here, one thing I noticed on the floorboard is that, see where the floorboard meets this back boot hinge panel? That hole right there was not lining up. It was about ½ an inch towards the front of the car. And, so I just got to looking at it. And this shell, once I cut out the floor panel, there was no real support for keeping it forward and aft, in the forward and aft direction. So I can't help but wonder if this has relaxed a little bit. So one thing that I learned from Mr. Pete Raymond, of course I didn't learn it quick enough, and I should have put this in before I cut out the floorboard, dang it, but I didn't. I put it in afterwards. So you can see now it kind of holds it out, and boy, that sucker, it lined up beautifully. what I did was I went to my other two minis and I measured. Now the seatbelt bracket, everything's different on both of those cars and this car. However, the dimension was pretty doggone close. I couldn't get it exact because where the wood is hitting, I couldn't get that exact dimension, but it was pretty doggone close. So what I did is I cut mine to the dimension of the 92 Mini. I cut my stick, and I did have to trim it down. It was like half an inch shy. And when I trimmed it down and forced it in there, that hole lined up absolutely beautiful. So I think I'm going to leave it there to give it support. And is that right or wrong? Any input out there? Does somebody know? So here again, what I'm going to do today is my next step is I'm going to weld the heel board to the floorboard. I think that's safe. But before I do, the reason I'm not showing it on this video is because I need to learn how to properly seal the panels once they're welded. So I know people in England do it probably a lot differently. I am looking towards American restorations because our weather's different, you know. And well, of course, it's different here all around the country. So I am looking for suggestions of how we build our classic American muscle cars and how they properly seal them. So yeah, Eastwood right now is coming to the top. For a lot of things, because a lot of the sealants are either good or bad in either cold or hot weather. Of course, it's hot here, so those items are out. But I'll cover all that in another video. I just want to say I am making progress, a little progress. Yeah, ain't it great? Thanks for watching. All right, bye just now.